So today I'm going to be informing you on some basic skills you need to know when starting to play the piano. So I learned the piano because I'm really involved with worship at my church, so it's really nice to be able to play with a band. And I also love music, so since I can play the keyboard, I can make my own music and I can play with my cousins and my brothers and friends. And by knowing the piano, it will help you start to learn other instruments, and it's just a really nice skill to have to impress someone. So some materials you need when learning the piano is you obviously need a piano or a keyboard. So this is a keyboard and they cost around $200. They can get up to $1,000, even exceeding $1,000. But for a basic piano that you need, you'll just need this easy piano, which is about $200, as I had said. So I first want to talk to you about how you hold your hands on the piano. So you want to make sure that your hands are in a C position, kind of like this. So it's kind of like you're holding a bubble. You don't want to squeeze the bubble and pop it, but you don't want to make sure the bubble floats away. So you want to make sure that your hands are kind of like in a C position. And so when they're on the keyboard, they're in a nice loose position, and you can just play your notes in an easy way. Something else you want to make sure is that you're sitting up straight and tall and that your feet are flat on the floor. That just helps you stay in a nice position so you're not too loose but you're not too tight, so you have an easy range of motion when moving up and down the keyboard. So the next things I want to talk to you about are the black keys. So there are 36 black keys, and then there are 52 white keys, which is 88 keys on the piano. Most keyboards don't have 88 keys. This one's just a 76 keyed piano, but you don't really need all the keys when you're first starting to learn. It's nice to have actually a smaller one when you're first starting to learn, so that you can just learn the basics and you don't have to worry about too many other things when going up and down. So now I want to talk to you about the actual white keys. So when you're playing your white keys, most of the time you're playing chords, but sometimes you just play notes, or you're playing melodies, which is just doing different things with the chords. So when playing notes, if you're going from an F note to a G note, that's taking a whole step. So that's skipping a key. So you're going from one key to the next key, but you skipped this black key. Or you went from this key to this key, then you're skipping this key. So if you want to take a half step, you can go from the E to the F because you're hitting the key right next to it. So that's just something that when you're playing chords, you are taking whole steps instead of half steps. Half steps would be playing, all the keys right next to each other. But we usually take whole steps when playing chords. And then on your black keys, so most of your black keys are sharps and flats. So a sharp is in front and a flat. So now I'm going to be teaching you the chords Hallelujah. So it starts off with an F chord, which is just an F, an A, and a C. And then you have your D minor chord, which is D, F, and A. And then you have your A sharp, which is an A sharp, a D, and an F sharp. And then you have a C, which is a C, an E, and a G. So those are your bass chords when starting off playing Hallelujah. So when you're actually playing it, it goes a little something like this. And that sounds nothing like the chords I just played you. So that is you using your chords that I just showed you as a bass chord, and you're making a melody with it. So I'm going to show you the melody part of it. So you are playing your F chord like this. You're just hitting each note individually. And then you come over here and hit an F chord or an F note to go with your F chord. So you go like this. And then you come back onto your F chord that you were playing to begin with. So you play each note individually, hit your F note, and come back. So that's your melody for your F note. And then you go onto your D minor note, and you're doing the same thing you did with your F. So you just go, you hit each note individually, hit your D, come back, and so that's that one. And then when you are playing your A sharp, you're playing your A sharp, your D, and your F, and then instead of hitting an A sharp, you hit your D. You hit a D chord. Because it's the white key, so you're just hitting the melody part of it. And then when you're playing your C, you go same thing like the F and the D minor. The piano is a fascinating instrument that's super fun to learn and play. I hope you learn some easy basic skills to help you learn the piano in the future.